everyone, it's Miss Amy. I'm back again with another new book for you. And this new book is so good. I read it in less than 24 hours. In fact, if I added up all the time that I only spent reading rather than doing things like go to work, I probably only spent 8 hours reading this book. I finished it in one day. Before I tell you about the book, I'm going to do a quick word association with you. Some of you might get this right away, and some of you may not get it at all. But I hope that it will whet your appetite for the book. Sir Anthony Hopkins, Clarice, Fava Beans, Buffalo Bill, Jodie Foster, Hannibal Lecter. By the end, I hope a couple of you understood that I was talking about Silence of the Lambs. The book I am bringing to you today has been billed as a Silence of the Lambs starring teenagers. So I was like, I have to read this. It's not my usual genre, but I love the movie Silence of the Lambs. So I picked it up. It's called None Shall Sleep. The book takes place in the 1980s. That's a very important thing to know. The whole book is talking about the new behavioral science unit of the FBI. So if you watch TV shows like Criminal Minds is about the behavioral science unit. Well, this is while the behavioral science unit is in its infancy. So they're still going out and interviewing serial killers that they've already caught to find out what makes them tick. So there are 4 main characters in this book. The first one is Emma. Emma is a unique young lady. She's a freshman at OSU. Go Ohio State. But a few years back, she had been kidnapped and tortured in her small Ohio town. As such, she's decided to go on to study childhood psychology, and so that she can help children who might have a traumatic past. The thing about Emma is that she was the only one of her abductors' brides who happened to escape. She was the only one who could run, and run she did. And she ran all the way to the authorities and tried to get help to save all the other girls. But unfortunately, by the time she got back to where she was being held captive, all the other brides had been killed. So she's got a little bit of trauma there in her past. The second character is Agent Cooper. Agent Cooper is your typical FBI agent. The difference is he's working for the new behavioral science unit, and he is putting together a new team for within the unit. You see, the behavioral science unit has one issue when it comes to interviewing these serial killers. There's one subset of serial killers that won't talk to them, no matter what they do. So, they'll go in to talk to them and interview them, and sometimes they won't come down to the interview room at all. They'll refuse. They'll just sit in their cell. Sometimes they come down and they just sit there and stare at the agents. Sometimes they complain the whole time about all the things that really suck about being in jail. The food's not good. They don't give you enough toilet paper. You only get to take a shower once a week. Stuff like that. This set of serial killers are teenagers. So Agent Cooper is trying to put together a team of young people that are way younger than what FBI agents typically were. FBI agents have gotten younger over the decades, but back in the 80s, most of them were at least 35 before they ever joined the FBI. So he's trying to get some younger people in, hoping that they can relate to this group of serial killers. The third character is Travis. Travis, also a young man, 18, 19 years old, is in training with the U.S. Marshals to become a marshal. He's unique, and the reason why Agent Cooper's recruiting him to be part of this team is because his father, who was also a U.S. Marshal, happened to have been killed by a serial killer while trying to apprehend him. Travis agreed to join this team with the expressed knowledge and the promise from Agent Cooper that he would never have to talk to the young man who killed his father. So Emma and Travis are supposed to be working cold cases only. Cases that they've already solved, already put away the bad guys. They're just going in and interviewing these teenage serial killers. Well, what happens if one of these serial killers happens to have information about a current case? They're not supposed to be working current cases. Well, Simon Gutmanson, the fourth character in this book, is a teenage serial killer who's writing to Agent Cooper that he has information about a current case. Agent Cooper doesn't want to go and talk to him because he doesn't want to give Simon the satisfaction of getting what he wants, which is an interview with Agent Cooper. Since Simon is a teenager as well, he decides to send in his new team. The unfortunate thing is that Simon is the serial killer that killed Travis's father. So Emma tells Travis to stay outside so he doesn't have to deal with it. And Emma goes and sees Simon all by herself. So, in a series of interviews, they get all sorts of information from Simon. But of course, it's bits and pieces that they have to puzzle together. Well, as I said, they're not supposed to be working an active case. So this very well could cost somebody their job. But because all the information is in a puzzle they have to put together, it's also very possible that they may not solve the puzzle in time, and it could cost all four of our main characters their lives. So I enjoyed this book so much that I actually wound up having to go and find Silence of the Lambs someplace so that I could rewatch it because I hadn't seen it in 10 years. And it really does live up to that hype. It has that feel of Silence of the Lambs, of Criminal Minds, in a really early version of it. And it left me actually wanting more, although I don't think that there's going to be any sequels. But it is available now at the library, and I hope that you will check it out.